Hello viewers and welcome to McElroy's Motors. And in today's video, that's got it. I am going to be discussing all the vehicles I had owned since I got my driver's license back in 2016. Before I do the unveiling of all the cars I had owned, I would like to make a little announcement here. In my last video I uploaded, which was just a YouTube short, I mentioned that I was in the hospital for a workplace accident. It was a suspected concussion, which thankfully it wasn't one as such, but as such it was just a small pinched nerve or two in my lower neck. It was nothing crazier than that, and I was able to return back to work within 2 days. I was 16 years old when I got my driver's permit in 2014, and at the time my grandmother had an Oldsmobile Bravada from 2002. Very similar to the one you see in this picture here, in the same color in fact. But she had to sell it due to the fact that it got horrible gas mileage. Not exactly ideal when you're raising 3 kids on Social Security income. She eventually got a 2003 Acura TL from her brother, albeit hers was white. She loved that car, so much so that she didn't want me to learn how to drive in it, but as it was her only car, we really had not much choice. But despite her loving the car as much as she did, she wanted me to have the car for my 18th birthday, to which I declined. It's not the fact I hated the car, I didn't. I just wanted something of my own. My first ever job was here at the local Salvation Army family store. I worked there as a donations attendant about 20 hours a week, just in the hopes one day I would have a car of my own. And by July of 2016, I finally got somewhere.
This is the bold new symbol of the Eagle brand. And the first Eagle product to wear it is the exciting new Eagle Premier.
Yes, that is right. I had one of these Canadian-built family sedans that was long forgotten by now. It was built during the late 80s to early 90s. Eagle itself was not a very successful brand of Chrysler. It lasted only maybe about a decade. But even so, just seeing this black and white footage here brings back so many good memories. In fact, I still have the photos I took of my first car from all those years ago. My Eagle Premier was a 1991 model that I paid just $920 for. The only flaw this car had was it had no air conditioning on it of any sort. The guy just didn't bother recharging it, and besides, you couldn't really charge a car with R12 refrigerant from these days. But besides that...
Oh my god, look how ugly he was back then!
Yeah, definitely was not as attractive as I am now, but I was definitely very proud of having my very first car. Something I'll never forget, even today. What happened to the Premier is it got vandalized to the point of being beyond repair. And finding parts was definitely not easy, so I had to find something, and fast. My second car was this 1997 Dodge Neon, and yes, you are seeing this right, it was bright pink. Don't ask me what I was thinking. Anyhow, I paid $1,100 for this car, and I got it from a dealership. But despite it being good on gas, getting almost 36 miles per gallon on a combined cycle, it was absolutely freaking dreadful. So much so that I vowed myself to never own a Dodge Neon ever again. At least the CD player was nice. Car number 3 was this 2002 Pontiac Sunfire that I bought for $1,400 off my neighbor. It needed a little bit of work mechanically, but I never bothered fixing any of the things it actually needed. But instead, I put a bunch of decals on it, I put a little refrigerator in it, I changed the radio, you name it, I pretty much did it, except the work it actually needed. And why is that, you may ask? Well, this was the first car I drove down to Washington, D.C. for the Trabant Parade that I was telling you about in my other videos. So, yeah, I didn't give a toss about this car, and unfortunately died after we came back. But even so, that was the first ever road trip I took my brother on, and I haven't taken much on a road trip since, but I've been dying to. Hopefully I get to do so again this year. And before you say that I am a complete idiot, just know that you're right. I can be an idiot at times. And that concludes part 1 of all the vehicles I had owned since 2016. If you liked it, smash that like button as well as the subscribe button, and I'll have more videos coming along soon.